Hey guys, in this quick little video I want to compare the display here on the iPhone 5 with iOS 7 here, latest beta. This LED backlit display is an IPS LCD display versus the, of course, my Galaxy S4 here running the Google edition of Android. I did see that it's now available a new beta. But this display is, oh my god, I mean, like, people have been stating it, like, when they've been watching a lot of my videos, that this display looks, it looks like some kind of plastic thing on top of it. It looks even more vibrant than earlier Galaxy devices, but it's still this Super AMOLED display, 1080p resolution, 5-inch instead of 4-inch here. That one, the iPhone, is a little bit smaller. 440 pixels per inch versus 330 pixels per inch here on the iPhone. Are you gonna notice a big difference there? 100 more pixels per inch? No, majority of the time, no. If you don't look extremely like close to the screen or something, you won't really notice a difference, even in like reading. 1080p resolution, of course, is a little bit higher here than the 640x1136 resolution here on the iPhone 5. We'll be taking a look at some pictures and been going over this. So 4-inch, as I said, Gorilla Glass first generation here in terms of screen scratch protection versus Gorilla Glass 3 here on the S4, so it should be better if you would do stuff to it. This glass should be a little bit better here on the S4. But then I've also been making tests earlier, like last year, when I've been doing a lot like this with the knife on top of the iPhone 5 display, and usually, I mean, nothing really bad have happened from that most of the time. So it's still a very, very good display, and just because it's 4-inch, it may be a little bit stronger here than the 5-inch, which is a little bit bigger. Then it could maybe be a little bit more sensitive, but then of course you do have the new Gorilla Glass 3, so it should be way stronger over there. So we'll be opening a Flickr here and be taking a look at some pictures. The new thing here, of course, with the iPhone 5 is that it's a little bit more vibrant display compared to earlier iPhones. I just today made a video comparing the display versus the iPhone 4 display, and you can definitely see over there that it's a little bit more vibrant in terms of colors like green and red. You can easily see, and also like colors like purple. It was very, very easy to see how much better it did look on the iPhone 5. But how does it stack up against the AMOLED display, which is kind of famous for having a lot of vibrant colors over here? So we do have some images here. So let's just zoom in here. So when we zoom in here, very, very good quality, of course, on both displays, both high-end smartphones, but I can see that it looks a little bit more yellow here, definitely on the yellow color here. It do look like you can see some more colors here, or that's a little bit more colorful on the S4, but not a super, super big difference. Let's see here when we look at it from the sides. Of course, this picture doesn't have that many super many colors, so you can't really tell which colors that do look better. But a little bit of a difference there. And then also the background, you can see a difference here in terms of colors. Looks a little bit more white here, like the fog, where here almost looks a little bit greenish, which could be interesting. Let's go over to another picture. So here we don't have super many colors over here. Let's see. So quite hard to see any super big difference. So I'm just gonna go and skip to the next image. And we can definitely see a difference here in terms of black and white pictures. It was very, very hard to see when we were comparing, when I did this comparison with the iPhone 4 and the iPhone 5. It was really, really hard here, but you can definitely tell that, I'm not sure if you can see it through the camera, but white has a totally different tone on these two devices. I'm not quite sure. I mean, it probably looks a little bit more like a natural white color on the iPhone 5 display, where it yeah, it stands out a little bit here on the AMOLED display. Really not sure which one I do think looks more natural, but it's probably going to be the iPhone 5 in terms of the white kind of color here. And then have a quick look here. The white color over here definitely stands out like wham. Of course, I'm not an expert in these things. I'm just doing simple comparisons, but it's still pretty interesting how they have like a different kind of tone. This picture, I didn't actually see as big difference, but you can see it a little bit. That in some kind of way it looks a little bit more like a real white color here on the iPhone, if I'm going to be honest here. And there we go. We have another picture here which has a little bit more color, almost like a green tone to it, and some kind of weird random animal over here. Definitely looks more colorful here on the S4, but then also I think that this green here looks very nice. So kind of hard to tell what kind of color it should be. And then we have like a sunset. Very interesting picture here. Let's go and zoom in a little bit. I mean, they are very identical in this picture, but it feels like the light down here at the where we have a lot of yellowish really stands out more here. It's like more power coming from the AMOLED display. This could probably also be something that we would see if we would compare it in terms of video mode. I mean, then you definitely, if you would see a sunset or something, you definitely want to have that raw power. It seems like you get a little bit more of that colorfulness here on the AMOLED display, which I would personally enjoy more. And now we have a pretty interesting picture here. Wow. I definitely do believe here that it looks more awesome, even though it looks good here on the iPhone. Looks a little bit more powerful here on the AMOLED display, and it's probably also easier for me to see because I'm looking at these pictures not through a camera like you are doing on YouTube. And remember, like, we're comparing very high-end displays or phones, so but no phone here is gonna suck. It's gonna be very close to identical here. You can see here definitely also on the blue kind of colors here. Blue stands out a little bit more. It definitely comes down to what you prefer. I mean, if you just prefer a little bit more natural, low-key colors, then the iPhone 5 probably is the boy for you over here. But Apple kind of understands that people do want that powerfulness, because they did add more vibrant colors to their iPhone 5 compared to earlier phones. And here you can also see up in the sky here how much like almost has like a dark tone to it here on the iPhone 5 display compared to the S4. And then we have a cool green picture here, and definitely, wow, here we can see a massive difference here in terms of how they produce that kind of color on the ground. Definitely looks a little bit more like a darker kind of hardcore green here on the AMOLED display. It almost looks like the green that it's been summer for a longer time. Here looks like almost like early summer or something. And of course, I'm not an expert over here. I'm just talking. So let's see here. Here we have also a pretty interesting picture. And you can see here like how the road looks a little bit more like white on the iPhone over here compared to the AMOLED display. But then when we switch down here, it definitely like green has a totally different tone here. A little bit more of like a soft tone. So just a quick little video here comparing it. Of course, we don't see like massive, insane differences in terms of screens. Both, of course, amazing displays, and it would also be fun to compare them in like a video mode, comparing like a video, maybe a cartoon movie, maybe an action movie or something, to see how like probably in action movies you will see a lot of darker colors or like shadows and stuff. And of course both these have they are good at different things. Like the AMOLED display could be really dark and hardcore sometimes, while the iPhone display here could be very much soft and be better at those white colors. And as I said, and as I've said many times, I'm not an expert. I'm just a normal guy comparing two phones. But yeah, hopefully you did enjoy this video, and if you did, please leave a like, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Yeah, peace out.